An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. So I talked to y'all about the 3 B's in the last episode, and I told you how important it is to make sure you focus your mind on these 3 things as you're unleashing your inner beast. You want to focus your mind on your beautification process. You want to focus your mind on your brains, and you want to focus your mind on your brand. So today we're going to be talking about your brains and how important it is to invest in your education, invest in the knowledge that you get. Listen, knowledge is power. Do you hear me? Knowledge is power. Even the word says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Knowledge, they can't take that away from you. That's something that they cannot take away from you. So y'all want to know something about me? A fun fact about me is that I love learning. I love learning so many different, what would seem like not needed things. So I'm always researching. I'm always like studying. I feel like I always have the answer for something, not because I think I know it all, but because I read it somewhere. I'm one of those type of people. And I'm always like, but I don't think that I know it all because I always want to learn more. I love knowledge. And recently I've been learning about just different things as far as media and as far as content creation goes. I mean, you name it, I've studied it. And it's crazy because when a random topic comes up, it's like I know the answer, but I don't know how I know the answer. I just know I read it somewhere. And it's just so funny. But it's super important when you're unleashing your inner beast. You want to invest in your mind because that's something that no one can take away from you, ladies. Like, we know that the woman, especially specifically the Black woman, is the most underestimated person ever. We are so underestimated. No one really gives us the proper credit that we deserve. We have so much knowledge to the point where if we really wanted to, we could take over the world. Y'all already know how I feel. I already told y'all. Like, when you have confidence, you can take over the world. I'm telling you, when you got the knowledge, you can take over the world. What am I saying to you? Take over the world, sis. Listen, take over the world. What's stopping you? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? No, but seriously, it's so important to invest in what you put in your mind because nowadays, these people will tell you anything, child. They want you to believe that the sky is purple. They want you to believe anything. People will pay big money to deceive you. People will pay big money to manipulate you. But a person who is educated cannot be manipulated. Period. I don't care what anyone says. Like, a person that has invested in their education, and I'm not talking about school wise, which I definitely, I stand behind that. I do believe that you should go to school and do the best you can. It wasn't for me. I didn't graduate. I actually didn't even finish. I didn't even finish my freshman year. After my freshman year of college, that is, I got my high school diploma. But after my freshman year of college, I dropped out. And I just kind of took a different path in life. Now, what are some things that you can do so that you can invest in your brains? Read a book. Read one chapter of a book a day. I know some of y'all are like, Faith, I don't even like to read. Girl, they got audiobooks. Listen to an audiobook. That's the easiest thing to do. Listen to a podcast. Do something every day that expands your mind. You should be able to tell me something different this week than you were able to tell me last week. I should be able to come to you and learn something new every time I come to you. Like, I want to grow when I'm around you. Like, the people in my circle, they help me grow. And that's what I'm going to expect from you ladies too. Like, I expect y'all to help me grow. Like, if I ever meet any of y'all, I'll talk to you because I'm friendly. But if we're going to have like a good friendship, I'm going to need, like, we're going to have some growth. Like, I'm going to need you to read some books and encourage me and like teach me something. Like, I like to feel dumb when I'm reading or when I'm learning, because that's the only way you're gonna learn anything anyways. You can't go into anything thinking that you already have the answers. But when you invest in your brain, you invest in your knowledge, that right there, like, anybody can pay for a body. Anybody can put on the best makeup, anybody can buy, the cute clothes. But that knowledge part though, what that knowledge do? Like, what that brain do? What have you read this week? That right there, that's attractive. Listen, that will give you a different type of glow. And now I'm not telling y'all to go out here and get this knowledge and, talk condescendingly to people now that you got knowledge. That ain't what I'm telling you to do, because that's not okay. But I believe that women who have knowledge are more attractive to the male species. We gonna call them the male species, even though it ain't about them. But I do believe that they are really attracted to women that are smart, book smart, even street smart. You hear them say, "Oh, I like a girl, she's street smart." No, what you're saying is you like someone who understands how to maneuver. They understand how to strategize. Really, what I'm telling y'all is get y'all's brain right. Learn how to strategize. Learn a new skill. Listen, learn a new skill that can become an asset to you in the future, that can become a value for you in the future. Because we don't know where 2021 will take us. I'm believing and praying for the best, but you don't know where 2021 will take you. So you want to learn a new skill. If there's anything that we learned about 2020, it's that things are not predictable anymore. We can't predict what tomorrow holds, but we can predict how we're going to handle tomorrow. Well, I don't know if we can say predict, but we can choose how we'll handle tomorrow. And I choose to at least go into tomorrow with a little bit more knowledge than I had today. I think, and y'all know I'm very just open about this. I think that every time I made a mistake, every time I fail, every time I just messed up, it was for lack of knowledge in a certain area. It was for lack of knowledge in a certain area. And even the times where I was sick, when I was overweight, it was for lack of knowledge. I did not know how food affected me. I did not know that if you give yourself away to these men that they wouldn't respect you. I did not know any of that. It's knowledge. You want to get the knowledge that you need to move forward. Even if it's just listening to somebody's sermon, listening to somebody on YouTube telling you the 3 things not to wear on your first date. I don't know. Even if it's something like that, but you want to make sure that you're not out here, just playing it by ear. You want to always stay ready. And to stay ready, you got to have that knowledge. So Google is free. Google is your best friend. Y'all, somebody told me on one of my TikToks, because I forgot what I said, but they said, Google is free. Like, are you serious? Like, I know Google is free. That's where I actually got the information that I'm sharing with you because of Google. But thank you, sweetheart. Like, Google is free. If there's anything that you really want to know about? There's no excuses out here. There's no excuses of why you haven't learned a skill in 10 years. There's no excuses about why you haven't learned a new skill in the past, especially in the past year. What were you doing? Like 2020? I mean, I know that I'm not trying to be insensitive, but in 2020, we should have all at least came out of 2020 with 2 new skills. At least 2 new skills. Like, I know I did. I came out of 2020 knowing how to make TikToks and knowing how to do a podcast. But no, more than that, I came out of 2020 knowing that I had to do something to create more assets in my life. And I knew that I needed to invest in myself beyond the healing process that I went through. Because a lot of people think, okay, well, I'm going to church and that's enough. And really, Jesus is always enough. Just period. I want to put that out there. You know, he is my Lord and Savior. And without him, I would not be here. I give all glory and honor to God for everything that I do and have and am becoming. However, we are flesh. We are human beings and we fail daily, meaning the perfect man, Jesus Christ, can come and tell us the right things to do. And then our own human flesh is going to come right on in behind him and mess it all up. So what am I saying? You have to invest the time that it takes. You have to invest your own personal will to be able to keep up with what it is that you're saying that you want. Jesus Christ can come to you right now as perfect as he is and hand you everything that you want. But if you don't know how to steward that, you're going to lose it. And how are you going to steward it? You're going to need knowledge to steward that. Ask the Lord for wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is basically the knowledge to steward something. Wisdom is basically saying, Lord, I don't know how to handle this right now. Please give me knowledge on how to handle this. And that's been my prayer, and that will continue to be my prayer for as long as I live, because I know that without wisdom, without the Lord's wisdom, because there is wisdom that man thinks that man has. I'm talking about the Lord's wisdom. All you have to do is ask the Lord for wisdom, and he's going to give it to you. But don't harden your heart when he tell you might need to read a book or two. When I was going through my process of healing, do you know I had to read oh my gosh, I don't even remember. I had books on my Kindle, and I've probably still got 2 books over there that I hadn't read yet. But I ordered every Brené Brown book. I ordered every T.D. Jakes book. I ordered some Sarah Jakes Roberts books. I ordered some marketing books. I ordered books teaching me how to create content. I ordered books so that I can get the knowledge for the direction that I feel and the wisdom for the direction that I feel that the Lord is telling me to go in. So don't harden your heart when you're asking the Lord for wisdom and he places in your heart to read something. He places in your heart to go listen to a video, to go listen to a podcast, to go and listen to, even if it's your elderly mother or grandmother who has the wisdom to share with you. Don't harden your heart. Your heart should be open to all of the wisdom that you feel the Lord is telling you to do, that you feel the Lord is leading you to. Now, I don't know how this kind of turned into me, almost like a church sermon, but I'm definitely a Christian and I'm not ashamed of that. But you're gonna have to have wisdom to be and unleash your inner beast. You're gonna have to have the wisdom of the Lord to be your best self, period. I'm over here wow. I'm sitting here thinking about, I didn't even realize I read all those books. And some of those books I had on audio books. So it's even more than that. Because it's been, let's see, this year, 2021 makes 3 years that I've kind of been, and I just now feel like I'm just now coming out of my process. It's been 3 years, and man, the books that I've read, the sermons I've listened to, even the things I did not want to listen to. Let me tell you, y'all know, I feel like I am called to be married, but I also knew that at the time it was hard for me to I was scared to try new relationships. I was scared to try again. But even when I didn't want to listen to messages and sermons and read books about relationships because it triggered me, y'all, it triggered me so bad. Even when I didn't want to listen to that stuff, I did, because I knew if I want to have a marriage and I want to steward my marriage well, I'm going to have knowledge. I told y'all in one of my other episodes, I talk to these guys on TikTok because I want to hear the male perspective. And I know that if I'm ever going to, let me stop saying when I get married and if I have a son, I'm going to need to understand the male perspective. I'm going to need to understand men so that I can properly love my husband, so that I can properly love and help raise my son. So I am a firm believer in when you are asking God for something, or when you know that you're called for something, you better be prepared to steward that. And to steward it well, you're going to have knowledge. So that's what I wanted to come and tell you, that be investing in your brains, investing in the knowledge, investing in your education is super important when it comes to unleashing your inner beast. You have to invest in your brains and your knowledge. You have to invest into what you're learning. There are books, there's podcasts, there's everything available. Google is free. There's no reason why you haven't learned a new skill. There's no reason why you can't be all that you're called to be right now. There's no reason why. There's no reason why. And so I want to encourage you, remind you, invest in yourself. Yes, pick up that book, download Audible and download some audiobooks and listen and learn. And come back and tell me what you learned. Leave me a message. It's right there on the left-hand side. Leave me a message. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're reading. I want to know what classes you're enrolled in now, what school you've enrolled into. I enrolled last year, I enrolled in leader school with Dr. Matthew Stevenson, and that changed me a lot. And it's crazy because I didn't even consider myself a leader when I enrolled. Something like the Holy Spirit was just like, enroll, Faith. And I was like, okay. And I enrolled. And not only was I enrolled in that school, but I enrolled in a couple of other online classes to learn more about my craft, because I believe that the Lord is leading me down this path. And so it's important to make sure that you are able to steward what the Lord gives you. Because it's not enough to just say, I want it, and then you get it, and then you drop it. What good is that? I want it, and then you get it, and then you lose it. What good is that? What good is that? That's actually not a blessing at all. That's actually a curse. If you get something that you want, but you don't even know how to steward it to the point where you lose it, that's not a blessing. That is not a blessing at all. So I want you to be able to steward and keep everything that you were meant to steward and have. And so, y'all, I'm so excited to see you in the next episode where we're going to talk about brand. We're going to talk about business. You hear me? We're going to talk about you not being able to be fired because you are your own boss. Yes, we're going to talk about it. I'm so excited. I'm going to see you guys over in the next episode.